Hi, my name's Notion, so I'm getting a mission on Spurs video podcast. Give a shout out to Tim and Tomst, and thanks Major Hank and Triple KL for posting my video on my previous YouTubes. And this is a shout out to Miss P. I'm hoping they're having a great time in Granada, Bahama. Come my pretty mama to me. Anyway, enough of Kokomo. But let's talk about something else that Miss P loves, and that's Berbatov. Obviously, they're asking $5 million for a player in the last year's contract. $10 million, no, it's 5. I think Alex Ferguson will be reasonable. May not be so reasonable, the guy that extorted him 4 years ago, but people say, oh, we shouldn't take Berbatov back, he disrespected the badge. I'm going to tell a story from about 16 years ago, just for Euro 96, and this is before Deal and Skinner really hit the big time with three lines. They're doing it Loaded, and they're talking about footballers, and I can't remember if it was Badil or Skinner, but they talked about this player, how he, they were talking about how they'd lost a game, and they saw one of the players come outside, and they were laughing and joking with their girlfriend, and how which I can't remember which one it was now, was absolutely gutted by that, because let's face it, footballers, they're employees of the club. Yeah, they may be fans. Eventually, they're happy when we win, sad when we lose, but they're not really fans of the club per se. Now, one of the things that, obviously Berbatov, he wanted to move after the first year. He said nope. He said no. And the second year was agitating. Finally got his way, and we didn't replace him obviously adequately, and we suffered because he was one of our better players. Him, Ledley King, Robbie Keane, Woodgate, King were our better players. Two of those are consistently injured. The other one was sold to Liverpool. And it looked like we were going backwards again. Is it going backwards to sign Berbatov? No. I think, look, he wants to play week in, week out. He won't be able to. He's 31 years old. It's more of a high-tempo game. But that doesn't mean you can't play well if you are able to fit accordingly. Look at Pirlo, real renaissance man at Juventus. Said you're too old, the way the game's played. Look what he did for Juventus. Look what he did for Italy. For me personally, I just feel that Berbatov would be an option. If you look at our forward line last year, we struggled, the last 2 seasons. I'm surprised, we didn't struggle more. I mean, our forward line was Crouch, Defoe, Pav, and then either Keane and then Johnson for half a season, or the season after that it was, Crouch for a little bit, then finally we got someone good in Adebayor, JD, Pav for half a season, and then Saha, who had one good game, if memory serves, or 2, and that was it. Obviously, we've been looking at Sturridge, but Damian, look, they're going to ask him for 20 million, and after this Olympics, which I think is when they will try and sell him, his value could go up another 5-10 million. And we want to get these things sorted out way before the Olympics, so clubs can be settled. I think having a forward line, or possibly Sturridge, Adebayor and Berbatov, that's a great front three to pick from. We are playing that 4-3-3, so 4-2-3-1 would work, or 4-2-3, so 4-2-3-1, so we only need one striker. We need to be able to rotate. Adebayor can't play every game, he might get injured, so we can bring in Sturridge, or we can bring in Berbatov, and even during the game we might need to go 2 up front. So I think, he will get opportunities. There are fans who are aggravated, and I'm going to say the same thing I said about that Benfica president who let go of Mourinho. He said, look, pride and personality can't be more important than interest in the institution we serve, and that's something, sometimes in life, as in everything, pride's a good thing, but too much pride can land us in the wrong situation. Just as not enough, can land us in a bad situation. It's just find that balance. I remember Martin was a very much beloved manager. Even though he never got the Champions League, I think he'll always be more beloved than Harry Redknapp will. And what he said was, look, I didn't have that mixture of experience and youth that I wanted. Harry, he wanted too many experienced players, and look, if we'd got Phil Neville in, we would never know how good Sandro would have been, because Sandro never got given his chance. What I'm saying is just find that balance. Now we've bought a lot of young players. Sigurdsson's obviously quite young. Vertonghen at 25 is 9 years younger than me, but could be considered old, which I don't know how. He's still got many years. Adebayor 27, so how was he considered old? I don't know. But you've got players coming to their peak, and you've got some players who are just past their peak but not over the hill. I think Berbatov's one of them. He's got loads of good experience. He's played for us. He knows the club very, very well. You know, what have we got to lose? He has a very different style, a more languid style, but his, you know, I call him the McEnroe style. His ability to see angles and passes. 6'3", we can put him on the end of those crosses. You know, who knows? We are losing Modric, possibly. You know, I'm not saying Berbatov will be a loss, but I think, you know, Berbatov's guile up front and possibly Martinez's guile up front could, you know, in the middle won't make up for that ability, that the way that Modric conducts our orchestra, but it could help us go and steer us in a direction if need be. Why not? Anyway, shout outs as always. Well, Miss P, you had your shout out, so I think that's enough. Give a shout out to Spurs.co.uk, to hi guys. Yes, I do have AdSense, therefore I do ask you to click on the ad links. And King Jurgen, he created one of the best Spurs Forum sites ever, called Spurs Forum. Gareth Davies, an award-winning journalist, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of guys. So yeah, Tomst, Eggsy, Jerry, Peter, Jez, Kevin G, Super Spurs. You know, the love's there. And gonna go on to another YouTubes in very quickly. As always, come on, you Spurs.